UFC 321 goes down in just a couple of days, and I'm here to give you every single one of my picks on the card. We're going to start with the first fight of the night, work our way all the way up to the heavyweight title fight in the main event. And once we've done that, I will then move to the most confident section where I'm going to rank my picks from least to most confident, from number 14 all the way to number 1, my most confident winner on the night. Before we get into that, just got to remind you, picks and bets are very different. If I pick a fighter to win, it doesn't mean I'm going to bet on them. And if I pick a fighter to lose, it doesn't mean I'm not going to bet on them as well. Maybe they're a big underdog and I'm going to take a shot on them. But if you want to check out all my bets, link down in the description below to sign up for the Home of Fight Picks premium membership. That's where you're going to get all my bets every single week. We'll start with the first fight of the night. We got Mizuki Inoue taking on Jacqueline Amorim. This is not a real fight. It cannot be a real fight. Mizuki has had one fight in the last 5 years, and Jacqueline Amorim has been rattling off wins, and not only wins, finishes in the UFC. Granted, not the best competition, but Corey McKenna's not bad. Vanessa Demopoulos isn't bad. Polyana Viana's not, she's bad, but she's not good at MMA. So I don't think Amorim is like some absolute killer, but I do think she's going to be way better than Mizuki Inoue. She's been way more active. I think her career trajectory is much, much higher than Mizuki. So it's Amorim all day here at minus 400. I'll take her. Let's move on. Mitch Raposo taking on Azat Maksum, and I'm really struggling to find a way how Mitch Raposo wins this fight. I guess maybe he could hit him with a big shot and knock him out, but he's not a minute winner. Raposo's striking at distance is terrible. Azat's not like some amazing striker at distance, but he's long, he throws hard, he's pretty quick. He'll throw a lot as well. He'll throw a good amount of volume. He's just not super accurate with it. And Azat's wrestling is going to be way too good for Raposo to take advantage of it. So it's Azat Maksum for me all day here. I don't think Raposo has much of a path to victory in this fight unless he hurts him on the feet and knocks him out. I think Azat could probably get a finish here if he really wants to turn up. Heavyweights, this can't be a real fight either. Hamdi Abdelwahab at minus 450 is coming in here, and I think Chris Barnett might land that little spinning wheel kick. No, I'm kidding. He's not going to, boys. If he does, I don't know what my reaction will be. It'll probably be like, wow, that really just happened again, because it shouldn't be happening. Chris Barnett's 39 years of age. He's had, one fight in the last 4 or 5 years? And his last fight, he blew out his knee or whatever, doing a spinning wheel kick. Some people said that it was like the Brian Ortega situation where he jumped on it during the intros, and that's how he injured it. According to him, it was from a spinning wheel kick that he threw in the fight. I don't know if I believe him, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's already fat as shit. He's old. He's never been very good. So if he wants to claim he hurt himself throwing a kick instead of jumping up and down from the intros, I'll believe him. I'll cut him some slack there. But he should not win this fight. He should not win any UFC fight. So Hamdi, you're getting an absolute layup here. Don't mess it up. The only way I think he messes it up, really, is if he just death gasses after round 1 and Chris Barnett can take over like he did against Jake Collier. But Jake Collier was so fat in that fight that if you cut his little love handles with a knife, I'm pretty sure frosting would start spewing out. That's how fat Collier was in that fight, and he looked borderline more fat than Chris Barnett. Hamdi is at least somewhat of an athlete. Humpty Dumpty, yes, but he's somewhat of an athlete. Chris Barnett is an athlete, but he's older, and his body's failing him, and he's fat as shit, dude, and he's 5'9". Hamdi should get it done here. Give me Hamdi for the pick. Let's move on to we go from that fight to just an absolute amazing fight. This is like dream matchmaking. Nathaniel Wood taking on Jose Delgado. Delgado is just an absolute maraud. He's just a monster out there. Fast, long, powerful, mixes up the weapons with the kicks, with the knees. Good scrambler as well. Nathaniel Wood, just clean everywhere. If you were looking at a fighter to emulate, if you wanted to just be crisp, you're not exactly the most gifted athlete, right? you would want to emulate Nathaniel Wood. Everything is just so technical. Everything's well thought out. His eyes are nice. Sees stuff coming in. Can counter it nicely. Solid wrestling, but he's just a little small for the weight class. Just a little small for the weight class, and we've seen him hurt. So I really want to go with Nathaniel Wood, but I do think Jose Delgado could probably get him here. It's not a super confident one. You'll see it once we get to the confidence section, but I'm going to side with Delgado because I think his fight style could give Nathaniel Wood some problems. Now, Nathaniel might make him pay with that aggression, and I'll tip my cap, but I'm going to take Delgado here as the pick. Younger guy. I think Nathaniel Wood's still young enough to where he's not going to get just start being washed. But I think Delgado's athleticism, size, physicality, it's going to pose a problem here against Nathaniel Wood. So give me Delgado. Louis Sutherland, Walter Walker. This isn't really one that I'm super interested in, boys, but I think Walter Walker's going to get it done. I'm going to take him for the pick. I think he can get some wrestling going. And it's not really like Walter Walker 3 straight heel hooks, right? That's not a great submission to be pulling off at heavyweight, but he can do it. Is he going to get another one here? I don't know. But even if he doesn't, I think he could probably still win. Louis Sutherland's not a terrible fighter, but I don't really think he's shown me anything to make me believe that he can stuff takedowns here against Walter Walker. He got out-wrestled by Slim Trabelsi. He got out-wrestled by Abraham Babley. I think Walter Walker can get takedowns. Even if he doesn't get the heel hook, I think he could probably win the fight. So give me Walter Walker for the pick. Mateus Camilo taking on Abdul Karim Al-Selwady. I like this one because I think Camilo is going to come in here and get a nice bounce-back victory from his UFC debut. And actually, I was there in attendance for his UFC debut at the Apex when he fought Gabe Green. Excuse me. And I picked Gabe Green to win the fight. If you go back and watch my channel, I picked Gabe Green because I thought, Gabe Green's a welterweight going down to 155. He's been off for a while, but Gabe's not like a chinny guy. He's always got great cardio. He's extremely tough, has great cardio and pace to a fight. He's going to bring the fight to you. And I thought that might be a little bit too much for Camilo to handle in his UFC debut. Now he's coming out here second time out. He's the 24-year-old taking on the 30-year-old Abdul Karim Al-Selwady, who's coming off a near 2-year-long layoff in a fight that he got knocked out against Loik Radzhabov in his UFC debut. And the only reason he got on to the UFC was because he beat George Hardwick as like a plus 400 underdog on the Dana White Contender Series. If he wasn't a plus 400 underdog in that spot, I highly doubt Dana White's giving him a contract because he didn't win that fight and really stand out. He just won it as a big underdog. I think that's why Dana White gave him the contract. I don't think Al-Selwady is cut out to be like a UFC fighter, man. I think he's good. He has good skills. But you throw him in there against a guy like a Loik Radzhabov, Loik's going to go in there throwing heavy hands and wanting to hurt you. And what did he do in that fight? He hurt Abdul Karim Al-Selwady in round 1. Round 2, they kind of went back and forth in the wrestling. Selwady got majority of the fight, or of round 2 in his favor. He wins round 2, and then in round 3, Loik knocks him out. And Camilo, I think, has hurt almost every single one of his opponents, whether he wins or loses. He's hurting them. If he hurts Abdul Karim Al-Selwady, I think the fight's over. Now, obviously, Selwady could get some grappling going, but I don't really think he's like the best grappler I've ever seen. I just think Camilo's finishing upside here is so big. So I'm going to take Camilo for the pick. Kind of a long-winded one, but pretty passionate one for me. Let's move on. Mateusz Rebecki taking on Ludovic Klein. I think Rebecki coming in here off the damage he took from Chris Duncan is not good. I guess maybe this dude, when he fought Oralbai last year in Abu Dhabi, maybe some Abu Dhabi billionaire saw that fight like we all did and was like, holy shit, I love this dude, Mateusz Rebecki. It was an absolute war. And then maybe they made a request to be like, we need this guy back on the Abu Dhabi card. Because I don't know what other reason it would be that Rebecki wants to come back 2 months after a war where he was in a pool of blood. The fight's over. He's on his hands and knees just squirting blood everywhere. I would take at least 6 months off. But he's coming back, and I don't really like that for him. But I do have to believe that if he's coming back, he's okay, right? I guess he's okay. Ludwig Klein, coming off the loss to Mateusz Gamrot, kind of got exposed a little bit with his grappling defense. But that's Gamrot, and I think Rebecki's not Gamrot. But I do think Rebecki can pose him a lot of problems. Rebecki's very pressure-heavy. Ludwig Klein seems like he needs some space to work. Now, I don't know if Rebecki's just going to not give him any space to the point where he's just going to melt him. But I do think it could make Klein tired. It could make Klein less effective than he usually is when he's at range. And if he can mix in some takedowns, I think he's got the grappling edge here. So I'm going to take Mateusz Rebecki for the pick, but that's really because I think it's closer to a 50-50. And if Rebecki wasn't coming off that fight, I might be a little bit more confident in him here. But you have to take that into account. I just think it's 50-50. I'm going to side with the slight underdog in Mateusz Rebecki for the pick. All right, now we got Jun Young Park taking on Ikram Aliskerov. I was really wanting to get to the Park side, but I just don't think I can, man. I'm going to take Ikram to get this one done. Number one, because his last name ends in OV, and they're in Abu Dhabi. That's pretty much all I would need to say, but I will say this. I don't know that Jun Young Park is going to, just cook him late. I think Ikram, even if he doesn't finish him in round one, I think he'll be okay. I don't really see Park as this cardio goblin where he's just going to fucking put it on you and break you before 15 minutes has ended. I do think Park could do some decent work in rounds 2 and 3, but is he going to, take over and finish him? Probably not. And I give Ikram, the round 1 pretty comfortably in most spots unless he gets knocked out, which I don't really see happening. So give me Ikram here for the official pick. Quillen Salkilld taking on Nasrat Haqparast. It's a very close one to me, but I do think the guy that is a little bit more prepared for this spot would be Nasrat because he's been in the area. He's been looking to be on this card for a while. Salkild's kind of taking it on somewhat short notice. I guess really short notice, honestly, when you look at it. 7 to 10 days, something like that. So it's short notice for Salkilld. Nasrat's been training for this date. So automatically, I think Nasrat's a little bit more prepared. He's got UFC, way more UFC experience. And I think Salkilld is a good prospect. I think he could give him a good run for his money. I don't really think Nasrat's going to run through him here. I do think Nasrat's probably going to be able to win the moments in the striking exchanges based on putting combinations together a little bit more, probably landing the bigger shots, the cleaner shots, and winning a decision. But if Salkilld can get his grappling going, things could get dicey. I just don't know that he's going to be able to do it. I do think it's good. I just don't know that he has the control on the ground to hold him there for periods of time to where it's going to be super impactful. So then I think it comes down to the striking, and Nasrat's also a guy that kind of is going to get some love from the Abu Dhabi judges. So I'm going to take Nasrat for the pick here. I think it's probably going to be a decision victory against his hand race. To the main card, we got Azamat Murzakanov taking on Alexander Rakic. I'm going to go with the OV. I'm not going against the OVs, boys, okay? I'm not going against the OVs, but I'm also thinking Murzakanov is really good, man. He's super good. He's such a good striker, southpaw. His left hand down the pipe. He'll throw it with an uppercut. He'll throw it, wrap it around the guard. His lead hand is very educated lead hand, especially when he's going up against Rakic, who's an orthodox striker. Rakic's probably going to be looking to throw those leg kicks and chop the tree of Murzakanov. I think he's going to get countered. I think he's going to get countered when he's trying to throw those leg kicks. If Rakic wants to grapple here, then it could maybe get interesting. Not that Rakic is some amazing grappler, but I do think Murzakanov can slow down if you want to grind on him a little bit. But it's a 15-minute fight. I think Murzakanov probably is just way faster. I think he's way cleaner with the hands. And I don't really think Rakic has shown me anything in victories to where I'm like, yeah, this guy's it. He's coming off losses to high-level opposition, but that gets me in trouble sometimes. And I think that gets a lot of people in trouble sometimes, where you rate their losses higher than what they actually have as wins under their belt. Who are his wins? Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, a few years ago, but still, like, it's not now. If you ain't beating the guys now, then I can't really trust you to do it. Murzakanov been pretty inactive as well, which I don't like. But I'm going to take him here. It's a close fight. I do think it's fairly close. I just think Murzakanov can land the cleaner shots, has a little bit more upside to get the knockout. And I liked, his more eye-catching shots compared to mostly leg kicks from Rakic. All right, Volkov versus Jailton Almeida. Almeida is such an interesting one to me because you get these dominant heavyweight grapplers, and it's like, well, if they don't get the grappling going, then what does it look like? And if, in this case, I think Jailton Almeida kind of needs to get a finish in round one, or at the very least, if it goes into round two, he's got to get a takedown right away. Because if he doesn't, I think Volkov's going to start to put it on him a little bit. Now, Almeida has legit wrestling, legit ground game. One of the best I've ever seen at the heavyweight division. So I do respect him a lot. But you also have to look at who he's doing that to, right? He could do it to Derek Lewis, sure. And it was dominant. It was pretty clear. But he didn't finish him early. And I kind of feel like if I'm going to pick Almeida here, I got to get a finish early. I didn't know that it's going to happen. Because I think Volkov has worked a lot on his ground game. I think Volkov's extremely tough to he's extremely tough to close the distance on because he's so tall and he keeps his range so well. But he's a little bit slow, so I think if Almeida can use his speed to get in on the hips, he can get the takedowns. But I don't know that it's like one takedown and the fight's over. I think Volkov's good enough to battle through some positions, get back up to his feet, maybe have to ride out a round on the ground. Who knows? But I think Almeida is going to have early success. I just don't know that he's going to be able to continue it for the rest of the fight. I wish this was a 5-rounder. I'd be a little bit more confident, but I think Volkov's getting a little bit disrespected here. I mean, this is the guy that we were saying should be fighting for the title because he just beat Cyril Gane. I know it's a much different matchup, but I'm going to take the shot here on Volkov as the underdog for my pick. Not a confident one because I do respect Almeida very much with his skill set, and I think he's getting bigger at heavyweight. Every time I see him, it looks like he's getting like more swollen. It's like a Vitor Petrino type. But I think Volkov, it's kind of now or never. It's kind of now or never. If he gets this win, he's getting a title shot either way, whoever wins. So give me Volkov for the pick. All right, we got Bautista versus Umar Nurmagomedov, and I'm going to take Umar here. I don't think Bautista really has much of a chance to make this look like a clean victory, and I think that's what he needs to do. He needs to either go out there and finish Umar Nurmagomedov, or it has to be undeniable to the point where if you don't score the fight for him, like, there's going to have to be legal action. I just don't really see that happening. I think Umar gets this one done here. I don't know that he finishes him because I really do respect Bautista. I think he's a solid fighter. Insane cardio, good pace, very tough, very aggressive as well. And Umar, I just think, is good everywhere. Like, where is Bautista going to exploit him? I guess maybe in the boxing. Maybe in the boxing area, if he can get in his face. I think Bautista's boxing is a little bit faster, and he's a little bit more aggressive, willing to take a little bit more risks. But that's going to open up the takedowns for Nurmagomedov if he's in the pockets swinging. So I think there's just too many ways that Nurmagomedov can get this one done. I'm going to take him for the pick. -1 or 625 is quite rich, though. Let's go to the co-main event. Verna Jandiroba taking on Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern comes in here as a -161 favorite, and I think last week or so she was an underdog. So this line is completely flipped, and I don't really I don't agree with it. I think let's go back to the rematch. So Verna Jandiroba loses the first fight back in 2020, so about 5 years ago. She loses the first fight. Round 1 goes to Dern. Round 2 goes to Verna. Round 3 is close. But most of that fight was all striking. So what's going to happen in the rematch this time? We don't really know, but I would assume Virna Jandiroba is going to try to grapple here, right? Like Virna barely grappled at all in the first fight against Dern. So then it was a striking match, and it was competitive, but Dern kind of got the better of it. I think they both made improvements throughout the years to their game. I think Dern's improvements have more so come on the striking regimen, but I also don't think it's very good. So how's this fight going to play out between them in a rematch? I think Virna Jandiroba is going to need to grapple here, or at least she should try, because she didn't try in the first fight. She lost the fight. And since that fight, she's been on a streak. She lost to Haqparast, but then she's been on a streak and she's winning fights to get herself to a title fight based on her grappling. So if you get to a title fight, why would you not use your best asset? I'm assuming she's going to use it. And if she can use it in this fight, then I think she can win minutes on top. She's going to have 25 minutes of cardio because I doubt she's going to submit Mackenzie Dern. And she's going to have to scramble a lot. But I do think she could win minutes on top. I don't think she's going to lose minutes on the feet to the point where it's like just one-way traffic. So considering where the line is, I think Virna Jandiroba as the underdog, she's going to be my pick. And I'm going to tell you right now, I have a little bit of a bet on her. Not a big bet, but Virna's been my girl for a while. And honestly, people have always disrespected Virna because, number one, she's ugly as shit. And Mackenzie Dern is not ugly as shit, but her fight style isn't sexy either. Like it's latch onto you and just out grapple you, out scramble you, maybe submit you, but she wins fights, man. And she's been on a much better run than Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern is 3-3 in her last 6 fights. She looked completely out of place against Jessica Andrade, which is on paper a fight where she should have a massive grappling advantage against Jessica Andrade, who is terrible at grappling, is so easily had on the mat. She couldn't get it there. So, number one, she doesn't have very good fight IQ, nor does she have good wrestling. Then she fights Amanda Lemos, and Amanda Lemos nearly knocks her out, but not only nearly knocks her out, wins minutes on top. Amanda Lemos is not Virna Jandiroba on the ground. Virna Jandiroba quite literally submitted Amanda Lemos within 2 rounds. And Amanda Lemos was able to take down Mackenzie Dern and win minutes on top. So if Amanda Lemos can do that, I think Virna Jandiroba could win minutes on top. I'm not saying it's like a sure thing, and we'll get there with the most confident section, but I think as the underdog, it's Virna for me. Give me Virna for the pick. Now we go to the main event. So I don't want to say it's a tough one, but it's a tough line, man. You know, Aspinall's minus 400. We don't really know a ton about him, except that he can knock guys out or submit guys within the first 2 rounds, most likely within the first 2 minutes. So for a guy that's a champion like this, he's the undisputed heavyweight champion, defending his belt. When that's the case, and we still don't know what this guy's cardio would look like, we don't know what this guy would look like on his back, we don't know what this guy looks like if he takes a clean shot. Like, I guess he took somewhat of a clean shot against Pavlovich, but we don't know what his recoverability looks like. If he gets hurt, can he recover? So there's a lot of questions that we should have for Tom Aspinall. But maybe we just go his entire career not knowing him. You know, maybe we just go his entire career not knowing because he knocks everybody in round 1. I think Cyril Gane is honestly like a once-in-a-lifetime type of talent when it comes to MMA. But I don't know that he takes his career that seriously. I'm sure he's probably taking this fight seriously, but I'm not sure that he takes his career that seriously. I like his striking, but I don't think it's super dangerous. I think if he wins this fight, he's going to have to beat Tom up from the outside, and he's going to have to pull away in rounds 3, 4, and 5. Don't see him getting a finish against Tom early on in the fight, unless it's like some crazy head kick, spinning wheel kick, some type of big action, spinning back elbow, something like that. But obviously, I could see Tom Aspinall getting an early finish. I'm going to take Tom for the pick. But like I said, a lot of questions for minus 400 favorite. All right, let's go to the confidence section. We're going to rank them from number 14 down to number 1, least to most confident. Number 14 is going to be Alexander Volkov. Biggest dog I think I picked. Number 14 seems about right. I respect Almeida. If Volkov loses, it's probably going to look dominant, right? So I can't be that confident in it. But I do think if he can extend the fight, stuff some takedowns, or just make Almeida work, kind of like Curtis Blades did, where he just made him work. Got taken down, he would just get back up. Almeida just kept having to work, and then he fails a takedown. There comes the elbows, fight's over. Volkov at number 14. Number 13, Rebecki, another slight dog. I think his fight style can give Ludovit Klein some problems, but I don't really trust him that much because he's coming off such a war, 3 wars in a row, but a war that was 2 months ago. He wears damage easily. He's hittable on the feet. I don't think his wrestling is like that good. I also don't think his fight IQ is very good because it just seems like he gets into these wars. So I think his fight style can give Klein some problems, but I don't fully trust him to implement it. Number 12, Jose Delgado. Delgado at 12 because, it's Nathaniel Wood. He's at a severe experience disadvantage, but I do think he has the intangibles to get it done. I think he's the much better athlete, bigger guy, and Nathaniel Wood has had some problems with durability. He's had his abilities to withstand it and come back from that adversity and win fights still, but against Delgado, I don't know. Number 11, Nasrat, close fight, UFC experience, been training for that date more often or for longer than Quillen Salkilld. If he can stuff the takedowns, I think he's the better striker. But, we haven't really seen Nasrat against a lot of grapplers recently, so we'll see. And Salkild's kind of like a wild card. He's still very young in his career. Maybe he is the goods. Maybe he's not, but Nasrat at number 11 seems right to me. Number 10, Verna. Kind of just went over it very recently, but I think Verna as the underdog makes a lot of sense. If she can get takedowns and get top time, she should be able to get this one done, but it's going to be a tough ask against Dern, who's going to make her work when she's on bottom, going to have a good guard. Dern's probably the slightly better striker. So Verna at 10 in the lower confidence tier makes sense. Number 9 is Murzakanov in the mid tier. Against Rakic, I think he's faster. I think he hits harder. 3-round fight. I don't think Murzakanov is going to gas out. I think Murzakanov has a lot of upside here. Here's the mid-tier. Number 8, Walter Walker. He should be able to get this one done with the wrestling. Louis Sutherland's been out-wrestled in a few fights, and I think Walter Walker is a huge heavyweight, athletic, good wrestling, and has those dangerous submissions as well. Number 7, Ikram Aliskerov. I respect Park enough to not put Ikram in the top 5, but I do think Ikram should be able to get this one done in Abu Dhabi. Even if it goes to a close decision, he should be able to get it done. But I think Ikram can win round 1. I think he can win round 2. As long as he doesn't completely gas out and Park just puts it on him, he should be able to get this one done. Give me Ikram. And number 7. Number 6 is going to be Hamdi. Yeah, you heard that right. Number 6 is Hamdi. I think Hamdi should 100% get this one done, but do I truly trust him to not fumble his bag? Not completely. That's why he's not in the top 5. But at number 6, I'm still pretty confident he gets it done. I think if you he's going to be the better striker than Chris, or I should say better boxer, better leg kicker as well. Better wrestler. If he really is in trouble, he could just double leg Chris Barnett, take him down, lay on top of him and ground and pound him out, honestly. I think Hamdi should be able to get this one done pretty easily against Chris Fat Barnett. Number 5, Mateus Camilo at number 5, who's a even money dog. I think he's live for a KO here. I think he could make it look pretty easy. If he can't stuff the grappling, then it's going to look shitty. But I think he's just going to be too physical for a guy in Selwady who's only 5'8", who kind of likes to avoid a fight until he's the one in like a dominant position. If he's getting the grappling on the outside or on the feet, he's kind of just skirting around the outside trying to chip away at you because he doesn't want to exchange. And when he does exchange with Camilo, he's going to feel that power. I think Camilo could probably get a knockout or a club and sub here maybe. I don't know. Some type of finish. I think Camilo gets it done. Number 4, Tom Aspinall. If he gets it done, it's going to look very, very dominant. But like I said a few minutes ago, I think if the fight does extend, we don't know what happens. I'm going to assume a guy that this good should be seasoned to do it for 25 minutes, right? Like, I don't really think he's going to fall off a cliff if it goes late. Also, just think Tom Aspinall's better everywhere. I think he's the better striker. They're different strikers, but I think Tom's striking for the heavyweight division is extremely fucking dangerous. Like, he moves it very well. He's in and out. He'll pull you in and then explode. He's got good counters. He sees almost everything coming. Sometimes you got to put that chin down, but he sees almost everything coming. His takedowns and his grappling is going to be much better than Gane as well. So number 4 for Tommy. Number 3 is as at Maksum. I think he's got Mitch Raposo cleared in every aspect. I really don't see a path to victory for Mitch outside of a lucky punch, you could say. Number 2, Jacqueline Amorim. She should be able to take down Mizuki and just destroy her and smash and sub her. Like, it should not be a fight. If Amorim can't get it down, then it's going to look bad, but she's been able to take down everybody. And I don't think Mizuki anyway has good takedown defense. It might look good when you look at the statistics, but go back and watch some fights. It's not good. So give me Jacqueline Amorim to get this one done at number 2. And number 1 is going to be Umar. Would I bet him at minus 650? No. But I do think he's probably he is my number 1 most confident winner this week, because how does he lose? Like, how does he lose to Bautista? Even if it goes to a competitive decision where everyone's like, dang, Mario might have won that, they ain't going to give it to him in Abu Dhabi. So he's got everything. As long as he doesn't get finished, like, he's good here. He's good. I will say this, though. If he can't keep up the pace with Bautista and he starts getting flustered and he starts doing the shit that, like, he did against Merab and he loses, give Bautista the fucking shot, dude. Give Bautista to Merab. But I think Umar gets his one done. At number 1, Umar is my most confident winner of the week. Doesn't mean I'm going to bet him, though. Just saying. At minus 650 is not really much to get your money's worth there. But that's going to do it for the video. Please like the video for me. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be back here very soon with some DFS cookout. Till next time, hey, Job Picks.